Hey everybody, it's Amy Head with New Perspectives for Life. Today is Thursday, October 9th, 2014, and we just saw each other a couple of days ago because remember I said that I did not get to film my video blog last week, so I was going to do two this week, and so I did on Tuesday, and now I'm doing it today on Thursday. So I hope that you've had a good couple of days, and I hope that things have settled down a little bit. If it was kind of stressful like we talked about last time, we did already have the full moon, so now it's in the waning phase, and I think things are finally settling in a little bit. At least that's some of the feedback that I'm getting from my clients and that I actually see myself. So hopefully you're finding that as well. It's kind of a weird day here today weather-wise. It's kind of warm, but then it's kind of chilly at the same time, depending on if you're in the sun or not. So I've got my long sleeves on, and sometimes they're rolled all the way up and sometimes they're pulled all the way down like they are right now. A little chilly at the moment. So but we're in that fall time where it's kind of, you're not really sure what to expect weather-wise. Thinking about that, I've been doing a lot of thinking this week about the counseling process, because when clients come in for the first time to counseling, they really don't know what to expect. It's kind of like the fall weather, you kind of think it's going to be one way, but then maybe it turns out another way, or maybe you're just not sure. The counseling process is a lot like that. I had a presentation that I had to prepare for last week that I just gave this past Tuesday before I filmed our time together on that day. And then I've had several new clients and several continuing clients throughout the week as well. And one thing that continues to ring true, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but I wanted to kind of mention it again so that it stays sort of at the forefront of your mind as well, is that when people are thinking about the counseling process, I think they initially believe that the process is going to be about how they need to change. How they need to change something in their character, some quality about them, some trait or characteristic about them, but something is messed up, broken, not right, and it has to be changed, fixed, or something like that. I really am of the mindset that counseling really should not be focused on changing the person. It really needs to be focused on changing the patterns that have developed in that person's life, whether it's patterns of behavior, whether it's patterns of thought and expectation, whether it's patterns of interaction and communication. Whatever it is, it's not really, the process of counseling is really not about changing people. It's about changing patterns in their lives, excuse me, so that they then will sort of end up changing, because when the patterns change, we change. Think about it. If things are going smoothly and you kind of know what to expect, and that has an impact on how you're handling things, as soon as something out of the ordinary happens, maybe you have a blowout tire on the interstate, or maybe something financial comes down that you weren't expecting, that change in the pattern of how things normally run smoothly really has an impact. You haven't changed, but the pattern has changed, and it impacts and makes you feel like you've changed in some way based on how you're handling stuff. It's kind of the same way in reverse. If we have patterns of behaviors or patterns in our lives that really don't work for us, when we start tapping into those patterns that aren't working and we begin to make some adjustments, some small changes to the pattern, suddenly the new parts of the pattern begin impacting us in a positive way, in a helpful way, to where it can really have an impact on our outlook, how we see things, how we handle things. So again, if you're thinking about counseling, or you know somebody that you feel might need counseling, something that can really help is to think about it from a perspective of the process is not going to have the goal of changing the person, changing you. The goal is going to be to look at the patterns in your life, or in that person's life, see which ones are working, keep those. But whichever ones are not working, that's where we want to focus our attention and energy. Because if we can get some management around making some small adjustments, some new allowances, some different accountability to the patterns to change them, then that alone can have the greatest impact for the good. So if that helps you think about it in a different way, then if there's somebody in your life that you feel like could benefit from counseling, this is a way to kind of explain really what the process would be, especially if you're talking to, a little bit older kids or teenagers or college students. They don't want to go talk to somebody about their problems because that makes them feel like a problem. And really, it doesn't have to be that. It's more about talking about, look, this really doesn't seem to be working for you. You're a great person. Let's figure out how we can get this pattern or this situation working better for you. It's all about empowering you and getting your life on a track that makes sense and that works in your benefit and on your behalf. I hope that's helpful for you to think about this week, and I thank you so much for joining me again this same week on Thursday, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, a good start to the weekend tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.